walks among you.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout mode. Now, in my opinion, let me start off by saying I do think Call of Duty Blackout is better than Fortnite. Now, before everyone gets super mad and like throws a bunch of hate at me in the comments, let me just say I've never been a huge fan of Fortnite personally. I've never really enjoyed the building mechanic or the third-person perspective that Fortnite has. So I'm just getting that out there. I know I don't mean to like step on anybody's toes with that one, but in my opinion, Call of Duty Blackout is better than Fortnite and PUBG. And I've only played PUBG a little bit, but the implementation of the COD mechanics in this mode definitely works for me personally, and that's one of the reasons I like it better. Now, in this video, I would like to discuss what I liked about this mode, what I didn't like, and some improvements I think could be made to make this an even better experience and an even better mode. So that said, let's start off with some of the things I did like. And as I mentioned earlier, I think the COD gunplay, the signature kind of style that COD has with their gunplay mechanics, I think it fits perfectly in this mode. Everything feels smooth, the gunfights feel great, like it definitely feels like there's skill involved when it's you versus another person who can aim better, who can hit that head better. It definitely comes down to that. Even if they have level 3 armor and you don't, if you're hitting heads and he isn't, you will definitely win the fight more often than not. So I would say that even if you're at a disadvantage loot wise, you still have a chance to beat and even outposition or outsmart people, just like in any other mode that Call of Duty has. And I will say too, like, people have always complained about COD not really trying anything new, and this really does feel like a fresh take of a mode for COD. I mean, it's a battle royale, which has been done already by other games, but it hasn't been done by Call of Duty, and it does feel fresh in the battle royale genre, and for COD, especially for COD, I would say. And I think it's a welcome addition to the series, and in the future, if they do continue to do battle royale, I would love to see how they do improve upon that as well. Now, getting back to some of the things I like, I think this map is absolutely perfect in size and in locations. I feel like everything is it's spaced apart really well, and it does feel awesome to like jump into like a firing range or like raid or even Nuketown and just see and just be familiar with part of the map already, and and then while being able to explore a bunch of new locations, going from one place to another, and even going to new parts of the map that you've never gone before. Like if you've seen this gameplay, I was just in an area that you could never reach before in firing range, but now you can, and it's just cool. It's one of those things that it's just like it's real awesome to do. Now, another thing I really enjoyed that this battle royale had that I haven't really seen in other battle royales is the perk system. I think that really adds an extra layer to the gameplay that is it makes it feel more unique to be able to consume like a mobility perk and be able to instantly jump from a high location with no fall damage while running faster, reloading faster and stuff. It adds extra dynamics to the game. And before I move on from that, I will say too that there is something I feel like that they should do with perks to improve it a little bit. I think this is more of a quality of life kind of change that they should think about doing. So say you get like 2 iron lungs, I think it's called, where you like hold your breath longer, and if you use both of them at the same time, what they should do is they should stack onto each other instead of have separate cooldowns, in my opinion. Because like I think iron lungs has what, like last 300 seconds, so if you consume 2, then it should last 600 seconds. Or if you consumed one earlier and then it hasn't quite gone away, but then you use another one, then it should just stack on to what you've already done before. That way you could really like build up your perks by going around and collecting them. I think it would add an interesting dynamic to the game if you could build your perks up like that. And so I think they should really consider that as a small quality of life change for the perk system. But anyway, onto the vehicles, which is another thing I thought was really cool about this game. Now, right now, as it seems, vehicles are definitely welcome. It's definitely better having them in this game mode than not having it at all. But I think they're also have a missed opportunity with vehicles. They have this big map, and they've already started putting in these vehicle physics for vehicles, but all the vehicles are really used for is transportation, and I think that's a missed opportunity, because you could put in some mounted guns on like the helicopter, for instance, or even give the pilot access to like some weapons and stuff, and I think it would add a much cooler kind of gameplay mechanic to the game, because now instead of just using vehicles to transport you and your squad places, you can now use it for actually like fighting and stuff. And if maybe to balance it out, they could throw in some more anti-vehicular weaponry, and maybe that could help balance it out a little bit and stuff. And I I think it's just a missed opportunity though, because they have all these vehicles in there already, and like I was disappointed a little bit to only see that the only boat they have is a small little raft. Like, why not have like an actual war boat with like a turret? Or if you guys have ever played Halo 3, if you remember the elephants, imagine having something similar on the map where you could just roll around with your squad in this huge like armored vehicle that the enemy would have to like actually like engage into your vehicle to destroy or something, or to take you guys out. And I think there's so much opportunity. There's so much roads, there's so much water in the map that they could use to really put in all these vehicles and have all this nice little cool I don't know, gunplay, vehicular warfare, because there really wasn't any of that in from when I played. There wasn't really much vehicle on vehicle action or fights, and I thought that was a bit disappointing. Now, let me move on to the first-person mechanic, because I just want to touch on that too. I feel like in Battle Royale, at least for me personally, I've always loved first-person shooters over like third-person shooters. So in this game, it definitely feels a lot better, and that's one of the reasons I do like it over Fortnite. So, all right. So I think let me touch on some of the stuff that I didn't particularly like. So I already talked a little bit about vehicles. I also feel like I also feel like when it comes to like ammo and looting, I don't think they have the system quite there yet to where it should be, because right now, as it seems, you feel like you're looking down a lot to pick up all this loot, all this ammo, all these attachments. If you kill someone, you have to look through their bag and stuff, and I feel like you're spending too much time looting. I'd rather spend that time exploring and fighting, as opposed to trying to grab a bunch of stuff that I need. So I think some of the things they could do to improve the looting system is make ammo pickup automatic. So if you walk over ammo, you should automatically just grab it. And even if you kill someone, if you walk over their bag afterwards, you should just grab all the ammo that's in there up until where you get where your ammo capacity is full and whatnot. I think that would make looting a lot better, so that way you don't have to pick up every single ammo that you see, especially since they're next to weapons. I find myself picking up a weapon that I don't want to pick up half the time because it's right next to the ammo, and it can get a bit annoying in my opinion. And maybe make it so you don't have to look down to see what's on the ground. Maybe put some kind of indicator up in the air a little bit, so you can see and pick up without actually having to look down at things. And I think those small changes would make looting a lot easier. Now, another thing I also thought was pretty poorly done in this is shotguns. I feel like shotguns are drastically underpowered in this game. They're almost a joke to use. Like the pump shotgun, for instance, takes 2 shots to like get someone down, and that's without armor or anything. And it should not take that much shots to knock someone down. I mean, there's a reason no one's using it now, and it's because of that. Someone can easily just out damage you and out kill you with an SMG in a shotgun's range, and it's kind of ridiculous. What I think they should do to improve it is they should maybe make armor kind of counter shotguns a little bit, in a sense that the way that Overwatch does it with armor on heroes is when you have armor instead of health, like weapons that shoot multiple like projectiles at once, armor has more resistance to weaponaries like that. So maybe make it have some similar mechanic so that way if you have maybe like armor, then you won't get one shot by a shotgun in like 10-meter range or something. But other than that, I feel like shotguns should be able to one-shot someone without armor or without like 200 health, especially that pump shotgun, because I mean, to have to shoot someone then pump then shoot someone again just to get them down, it feels, that's what makes shotguns in this game feel super underpowered, and I think they should really look into improving that and balancing out maybe with the armor mechanic and whatnot. And another thing I also didn't like too much, I felt like 2 weapons just wasn't quite enough. I felt like maybe the perfect number would be 3, and I think if they want to improve on how you want to switch, so weapons and whatnot, if you have 3 weapons, maybe make it so if you like hold Y, it switches to your 3rd weapon, or like if you hold Y, it brings up an indicator or like a quick menu that lets you scroll through your weapons real quick. But kind of like how Rainbow Six Vegas 2 did it. Because I don't know, I feel like 2, I feel like you're just too limited with 2 weapons, and I think 3 would be the perfect number of weapons in my opinion. Now, additionally, I think you have all this water in the map, and I feel like it kind of goes to waste. Maybe they can incorporate some kind of underwater submarines or sunken ships or underwater buildings, or hide some weapons in them, because you have all this water and it almost feels like there's just nothing down there. There's no real point to explore the water because it's just nothing. It's just water. So maybe they could consider adding some stuff into that. And lastly, I just want to talk about some quality of life improvements that I think could be made to this game. I noticed with like stats and team stats, you can't really tell how much kills your team has, and if when you die, you can no longer see how much kills you have, and I feel like that's kind of an issue. The more ways to view stats, the better inside the actual game. And I noticed when you're in a squad, you can't even click on their names to view their gamer cards or send them messages or party invites or whatnot, and I feel like that's a bit of an issue. I also noticed in the actual game lobby that it seemed that inviting players didn't really work either. Like you couldn't invite people to your game, and I know they'll probably have that fixed by the time the game comes out, but it still was annoying nonetheless. And simple things like maybe armor indicators to show how much health your armor has would be great. Same with vehicles. It's kind of, at the moment, it's hard to tell when it's going to blow up because you can't really tell when it's low on health, and just small things like that would help to improve the game overall. I also think maybe you should be able to carry more armor than just one in your quick menu, because imagine if you found another set of armor on the map, and you should be able to pick it up and hold it in your inventory to equip for when your armor that you have already equipped breaks and whatnot. I also think that in this quick menu you should be able to drop weapons or like med kits or anything you want for like teammates, just to make it a bit easier. That way you don't have to press start to drop things. So yeah, any kind of small changes like that I think would be great for the game and make it just that much better and feel that much better. But anyway, that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the kind of my little review and suggestions that I had for Call of Duty Blackout. And so if you're feeling generous and you want to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. Please leave the video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment below. Let me know your guys' suggestions, what you guys liked and didn't like. And yeah, that does it for this video. Thank you for watching and have a nice
Squad
day.
destroyed by hostile action. MT